Our topic today is called Trees for Tacoma, and that's also the name of a website that we operate that tries to capture and characterize all the different tree programs that are out there. So the purpose today is really to understand what options people have available when it comes to getting free or reduced cost trees for their properties across the Tacoma area. As a way of starting, I want to just say that with this program, our education program is supported by Tacoma Creates. So we really appreciate that program and that funding source. And let's get started. I'm here. My name is Lowell Wyse, and I'm here with Courtney Johnson, who's our planting coordinator for Tacoma Tree Foundation. We'll do a little bit more introduction in a minute. But before we get to that, I want to acknowledge that we rest on the traditional lands of the Puyallup people, where they make their home and speak the Lushootseed language. At Tacoma Tree Foundation, we think it's especially important since we are involved in stewardship of the land that we acknowledge the ongoing stewardship of the Puyallup tribe over time. A couple things on the webinar logistics. This is a kind of a closed webinar in the sense that we're not having an open chat. You can write questions in the Q&A section of the Zoom, and you could also chat directly to us as presenters, but the participants won't be able to chat today. Also, we ask for your patience in case something goes wrong. We've been doing this for a while and haven't had any technical difficulties lately, but give us some grace if something does happen. This is a quick reminder that these webinars go onto our YouTube channel in an edited form. So we'll shorten it up a little bit, put it on our YouTube channel, and you can become one of our subscribers if you haven't done that already. We'd encourage you to hop on there and see that content and share it if you like it. So thanks very much. Quick introductions for those of you who don't know us. This is a webinar today that is Tacoma Tree Foundation empowered. So we thought it'd be great to take this opportunity to share about some of our new programs related to tree planting. And so we're doing that as well as sharing about some of our partners programs that we are involved in. I'm Lowell Wyse. I'm executive director of Tacoma Tree Foundation. I just celebrated my 1-year anniversary as executive director, so I'm really pleased to be here and really happy to announce some of these new programs that we're talking about this evening. And I'll let you introduce yourself, Courtney.
All right. Hello, my name is Courtney Johnson. I am new to the Tacoma Tree Foundation, but I've known about the Tacoma Tree Foundation for quite a while because I've worked in Tacoma with tree work. I was a Washington Conservation Corps AmeriCorps member about 8 years ago. I worked as an AmeriCorps member for 2 years, learning urban forestry in the city of Tacoma, with environmental services being our sponsor for our work. So we were able to work in the open spaces, and I got to see the lovely natural spaces that still exist in Tacoma and the wonderful trees that exist there as well. And it just put me on this trajectory to really caring about trees and the urban forest. So I most recently worked with the City of Tacoma Public Works. I was a grounds maintenance worker, and then I heard about this wonderful opportunity as a planting coordinator with the Tacoma Tree Foundation and was able to have the honor to join this team. So I'm here now, and my job is to help put on the wonderful tree planting programs and tree giveaways that we have as a nonprofit to get trees to the people of Tacoma. So I'm very excited to be here and taking a part of this talk tonight.
Great. Thanks, Courtney. So the way we're going to do this is we have some programs we're describing that are Tacoma Tree Foundation programs and some from our partners. And so Courtney's going to explain the ones that she's in charge of now at Tacoma Tree Foundation, and I will hop in and describe some of the resources available from our partners. This is all kind of inspired by this website that we have called treesfortacoma.org. And so wanted to just mention this. This is just a screenshot of that page. But if you Google Trees for Tacoma, or we can actually share this in the chat momentarily, you'll find a different view of this. And today's presentation is actually an updated version of this. So we're trying to capture all the resources that are available and help people figure out which program's right for them. So we're going to talk some general background on these tree programs. We're going to give you this overview of all the programs available in 2022 and 23 related to free and reduced cost trees. We'll also talk about who's in charge of the programs, what are some of the things that they do the best, and give some other information that's key, like timelines and application info and so on. So I'll ask everyone to save their questions and answers for the end, or actually you can type your questions in at any point in the Q&A section, but we won't be able to get to those questions until the end of the presentation. So that's the plan for that. And I wanted to go over a couple of other background things before we get into the details of these programs. The first thing I want to mention is that these programs change over time. So even if you've heard of a certain program in the past, it might be slightly different year to year. For example, the species of trees that are available change every year based on what's available from the local providers and nurseries. So that's one thing to think about, but other things change too, like application deadlines and so on. So this is just a snapshot as of October 2022 of what this looks like. Another thing to keep in mind is that these are not all our programs, as I mentioned. So if you have questions today that we can't answer since we're not running these other programs, we can definitely direct you to the right places to put you in touch with the right people. And then finally, I wanted to just mention that most of these programs are really designed for homeowners. And it's kind of unfortunate because we have a lot of people in this area who rent, and they need to be able to take advantage of resources as well. So some of these programs are more designed for, they're all more designed for homeowners. And at the same time, there are some programs that renters can take advantage of. And actually, I think in almost every case, a renter could present a landlord or a property owner with this information and say, hey, look, we'd really like a tree in our yard. Here's a way that we can get it. Can you sign off on this? And we've had examples of places where a property owner who doesn't happen to live on that property has definitely signed off and said, yes, let's take advantage of these free programs because they recognize the benefits they have to the people that live in these properties. So we wanted to just mention that. We're not going to call it out every time, but typically you need the permission of the property owner to actually make a change to the landscape on your property. So if you're a renter, we would love to talk to you more about strategies for talking with your landlord. But it is what it is. Property ownership is just one of the challenges and obstacles for folks across this area. So those are kind of the caveats. And now I wanted to get right into the first program. And the first program is Tacoma Tree Foundation, Seasonal Tree Shares. So take it away, Courtney.
Yeah, so what's great is we have the potential to just give trees away to the people of Tacoma. We have some wonderful programs. The first one that's coming up is Green Tacoma Day. It's on October 8th. It's a Saturday, and we're hosting it at the Asia Pacific Cultural Center right next to South Park. It's on South Tacoma Way. And we are going to bring a mixture of larger landscape trees and smaller, what we would consider like 1 gallon or baby trees or shrubs as well. And we're going to be giving away these wonderful plants for free. So if anyone wants to come down on Saturday, this upcoming Saturday, at this point in time, we are giving those away for free. We also are partnering with the Asia Pacific Cultural Center, and they are going to have a free vegetarian food truck that is going to be set up in the parking lot. So everyone can show up and we will help load up plants and you can take them home with you. And what's wonderful is that you can put them wherever you'd like them in, and they don't have any specific, stipulations about where the trees or plants need to be planted. So this is something that's a little bit more accessible for maybe someone who is renting, or someone who feels like that is a little bit of a hurdle. They may be able to take home something slightly smaller. So that's the first event that we have in terms of a tree giveaway or a plant giveaway. It's coming up just on Saturday. And then we also have an event coming up on, it's I guess, leading up to Halloween. So it's called Tree or Treat, and it's at Madison School. And we are giving away trees and plants as well on that day. And we're also doing a wonderful project, an art installation, working with a local artist to create these wonderful planters and creating an installation at this school to add a lot of value to their school's property, and then also just doing a fun event that we're going to be able to give out trees and plants. So that is on October 29th. So you're welcome to come out to that as well. And what's great about these tree giveaways is you just show up, you can take something home. It can go anywhere you would like it. It's free, it's friendly to renters. And then we also have a mixture of the different species and plant types. So you could take something home that's a little bit larger, a little bit smaller, depending on what is available to you with your planting site or where you live. So these are some fun things to look out for. And also, you can just, if you'd like, check out our calendar and see if there's anything else coming up, because we always are going to be doing tree giveaways. So just you can always sign up for our newsletter or just check back on our website, and there will be more information as we go about if there are additional tree giveaways. But at this point, we have a lovely mix of native and non-native plants to give away to the people of Tacoma. So check out Green Tacoma Day at the Asia Pacific Cultural Center or the Madison Project for Tree or Treat on the 29th of October. So another amazing opportunity that we have coming up is we're considering it the Great Tree Giveaway. It's our branch out program, which we are doing a wonderful tree giveaway. And what's wonderful about this project and this program is that you can choose which landscape trees that you would like to order. So we can do initial sign up. You basically go online and fill out a form. You can select your tree and give us more information about maybe the best conditions, where it's going, and it can go anywhere within the city limits for Tacoma residents. And what's great is these trees have been specifically chosen for being in an urban landscape environment. So they will provide like an instant impact. They also will not cause problems with utility lines if that is an issue. And there also are going to be some varieties that we have in terms of fruit trees. So that will be really great if you're interested in that. We are having an event on a pickup event and delivery event. So you are able to come and get your trees, or we can drop them off. And then we can also offer optional planting assistance if that's something that's necessary for you. So you can pick out what you want, fill out your form, or just come on down and check out the trees and see what you like. But our event is going on Veterans Day, November 10th. And we're also, or I'm sorry, yeah, okay, yep, and the pickup, we're doing the 11th and the 12th. So if you need help, if you want someone to drop off your trees or plant your trees for you, we can do assistance with that. We're gonna drop off trees on the 11th, or you can pick them up, or you can come down the next day and pick them up. So what's great about this is there are just like a bunch of options. You can put them where you want. They go in the city limits, and they're going to offer a ton of benefit to our urban forest. It's one of our biggest tree share events of the year, and we're partnering with the Pierce Conservation District and the city of Tacoma to get this done. And we're offering a lot of trees. So we have our priority, we're gonna go out to Hilltop, East Side, South End, South Tacoma. A lot of these areas of Tacoma really need trees, and that's why we're focusing on these areas. And that's something that is a theme with a lot of our giveaways. We're really trying to focus on these areas that could use more trees in our urban forest. So this branch out event, yeah, come on down to, it's going to be hosted at the Veterans of Foreign Wars building in McKinley on the 11th. You can come pick up some trees, pick them out, and we can help you get them home and plant them if you'd like, or you can just take them home and plant them yourself. So let us know what you'd like. You can fill out the form and we can get them to you. Also, I guess a note is to mention that the registration deadline, this is an important thing, is that we do want our order to be placed by October 16th. So if you're interested in this program, please reach out to us, fill out that form before October 16th.
Yeah, and I think it's good to know that that's for like pre-registration for folks that want to guarantee that they'll get a tree. That's the best way to do that. But we're also going to have that walk-up element for branch out where people can come by on that weekend and find out if we still have trees left and just take one home, sign up on the day of. So you can sign up in advance, or you can also sign up at the event itself. Did you talk about fruit trees already?
Yeah, so we have a few fruit trees that are available. Harvest Pierce County is a wonderful organization that we've also been working with, and they're going to provide apple and plum trees as long as some educational assistance to learn more about those trees, how to care for them, how to install them, and get them to establish themselves, and so that you could potentially have a wonderful apple and plum harvest.
Yeah, so this is the main event where we're going to be offering fruit trees this year. We sometimes offer fruit trees at our regular giveaways, but this is the best opportunity. We already have 100 fruit trees purchased, and they're currently sitting at the shared nursery facility that the city of Tacoma has. And we recently saw some big, beautiful apples on those trees. So the trees are great. They're ready to go. And a lot of people are really interested in fruit trees these days. So this is the best opportunity to get fruit trees that we know of in the area, at least through one of these programs. So these are free fruit trees, which are kind of difficult to get right now. Anything else you want to say about Branch Out?
I think just to emphasize again, if you need any help, let us know, specify that on the form, and we can make it happen, because we are trying to get a lot of trees out to the people. So if you're interested, definitely sign up and we can help in any way possible.
Fantastic. Moving right along, the third program that's available in this area is called Grit City Trees. And this might be the most famous one. This is a program that's been around for quite a while now. I think it's been around 10 years, if I'm not mistaken. And so Grit City Trees is a City of Tacoma program available to City of Tacoma residents. And this is the program that gives free street trees to residents. So unfortunately, the application period for this just closed. So you can't take advantage of it this year anymore. But it's a great program to know about, because if you are a property owner in the city limits, you can request trees for that planting area, typically between the sidewalk and the street. That's considered that public right of way. And the city offers different trees every year, usually a choice of 2 to 3 small trees, medium trees, or large trees. And so this is a really great program to be able to take advantage of. Another neat aspect of this is the aspect where neighbors can complete a group application. So I know that in my case, last year, I rallied a few neighbors in my neighborhood to receive trees, and we got 4 different houses involved. And that meant that we were able to have the trees delivered to our property. And then we also worked together to plant them as a group in the neighborhood. And that was just really good for building community right here on our block. So the Grit City Trees is a great option if you're interested in making that streetscape a little bit greener and nicer, and you happen to live in the city of Tacoma. So moving right along, these three programs have all been kind of tree distribution or just giveaway programs. And the next one is a little different. So I'm really happy to announce this new program of Tacoma Tree Foundation called Green Blocks. And it's a program that is inspired by our mission of having a neighborhood-based approach to tree programs. And also in the work that we've been doing for the last few years in the Tacoma Mall neighborhood. So this actually came about as an effort to add a lot of new trees to that neighborhood that's between South Tacoma Way and I-5 and 56th Street. So it's kind of, it's South Tacoma, but it's not all of South Tacoma. It's really that area concentrated around the mall, business district, 38th Street, and South Tacoma Way. So we've got a number of things happening in this neighborhood. If you followed our events, you've probably noticed we're doing lots of things down here these days. And this program is funded by the USDA Forest Service, a grant from that agency that's administered through the Department of Natural Resources at the state level. And then we work directly with the city of Tacoma to make this program happen. So Courtney, you want to say a little bit more about what you're working on in the mall neighborhood?
Yeah, so I think some of the great benefits about this project is that we are zoning in on this neighborhood and identifying that there's a great need for trees. Historically, trees haven't been available to this neighborhood in the same ways as maybe other neighborhoods in Tacoma. And so we've, through just work with other partners as well, we've identified that this is an area that is not as forested or doesn't have as many trees as the rest of Tacoma. And so we are able now, what's a great thing is that we're able to offer 300 trees to this neighborhood. So at this point, we are going and asking the residents if they would like trees. And we have a specific set of trees that are great for the urban interface. They're great for the urban forest. We have options of either deciduous or coniferous trees. So we have some evergreen trees that keep their leaves or their needles all year long. And then we also have deciduous trees that drop their leaves in the fall. And all of these trees have been chosen for beauty and interest and just the appropriateness of them in the urban setting. So they won't mess with your sidewalks. They are meant to be around utility lines. They're trees that hopefully will not cause any issues and will just contribute to our urban forest. So this specific palette of trees has been chosen, and now we're offering them and trying to get them out in the Tacoma Mall neighborhood in this specific area. So far, the Tacoma Tree Foundation has been going around and just talking to the people, trying to get the word out. We've been knocking on doors and also setting up at some different local businesses, trying to talk to the people about potentially welcoming a tree into their right of way. So that is a caveat of this program, is that the trees are going to be planted in the right of way, and that will help contribute to the public asset aspect of the tree. So they will be considered a public aspect by the city of Tacoma, which is a really big deal. So we have a form, same thing. You can fill it out, choose what tree you like, what works best for the property that you have, and make sure that that is the right fit. And then we will be able to either deliver and help plant those trees, or we can have a pickup option as well. So we have medium, small, and large trees. You get to choose what's best. Our application deadline for this program specifically is the 16th as well. So another part of why we're getting these trees out when we are is because of planting season. So planting season for trees is the best from October to March, and we're trying to get the trees in the ground when they're going to survive and they're going to thrive the best. So this is why we're trying to have this time schedule. So if we can get all of our trees out to the people and planted in the fall and going into the winter, they will most likely survive and contribute to our urban forest. So that's what we're going for. If you live in this neighborhood, please fill out a form if you're interested in a tree and we can get it to you. We're just making the push right now. So if anyone lives in this neighborhood, knows anyone in this neighborhood, has community in this neighborhood, that is the whole point of this program, is to work together as a community to bring trees to this specific area. And we can all partner to do that because we've got the trees. And if everyone is ready and willing, we can make it happen. And it's gonna be ramping up here in the next few weeks. So you'll see us probably knocking around on doors in the next few weeks if you live in the neighborhood.
Yeah, fantastic. It's been really great to be doing this project in the neighborhood for the last couple of years and getting to know residents there. So even if you are not interested in receiving a tree or don't have space for a tree, or you're renting property there, we'd love to hear from you. We have a group that meets periodically called the Mall Advisory Group. And so it's a group of neighbors that really care about making the neighborhood greener and more beautiful over time. So feel free to reach out to us and find out more about that. The next program that we have is another version of Green Blocks happening this planting season in the Parkland neighborhood. And oh, I've got the wrong map on there, but you can roll with that.
Yeah. So the Parkland Green Blocks effort is going to be focused in unincorporated Pierce County, but the Parkland census designated area. So if you live in that area, we're doing essentially the same thing. We're focusing on that area. We're trying to get trees to the residents who live there to increase our urban forest and our urban canopy. That is the ultimate goal. And we're also, through doing that, trying to create community. So if anyone in Parkland is interested as well in an opportunity like this, spread the word. If you live in Parkland or you know someone who lives in Parkland, we are doing the same effort to get these trees, either deciduous or coniferous, into people's landscapes so that they can contribute to our urban forest. What's great though, as a little wrinkle in the Parkland Green Blocks, is that these trees can go in your backyard, they can go in your front yard, they can go in your right of way, they can go wherever you have space for them. So that gives us some flexibility to work with, which is great. And they're gonna make a large impact. Same thing, we haven't officially nailed down a drop off or a distribution date, but we do know that we're gonna be working on this effort in winter of 2022 or 2023, 2022. We're going to be moving from our Green Blocks effort in this South Tacoma Mall neighborhood, and we're going to be then moving and focusing on our Green Blocks Parkland effort. And so spread the word now. We're going to get some trees out to the Parkland area as well, and those trees can be incorporated into your landscape anywhere, not just the right of way. So that's a wonderful aspect of this program too.
Great. Yeah, the other thing I think that's good to just mention here is that we're also offering some education for folks in Parkland. So not only will you have the chance to pick up a tree or more than one tree, but we'll do a tree stewards training workshops for people that are interested in learning how to take care of trees, how to talk to their neighbors about trees and build community and build energy. One thing that we know is that trees and community go hand in hand. And we know that some blocks, when trees go in, people start to get curious and they want to find out maybe how they can get involved or take advantage of a certain program. So it's exciting that we'll be able to do the Tree Stewards workshop later in the spring of next year. So I know this is a lot of information. Thank you all for sticking with us. We love talking about these different programs and helping people differentiate a little bit. So thanks for, following along with these details. The next couple programs, and we actually just have two left. These are different because rather than straight tree giveaways, these last two are actually purchasing options. So these are not free tree programs, but they're actually reduced cost programs. And so I want to go over these programs from our partners and just explain a little bit about what they're all about. So similar to some of the programs we've been talking about, the urban tree sale also offers large landscape trees for residents, and they're really designed to add to that overall tree canopy across Pierce County. So this is a program. It's happening right now. You have until the end of October to take advantage of it. But you can apply to buy a tree at a very, I would say, a very low cost for for the types of trees that are being offered. We've got the list on the left-hand side of trees from this year, and a Vanderwolf pine that's just $10 is a really great deal for a 5 to 7 gallon plant. So this is a tree that's probably 5 to 10 feet tall already, and you have the opportunity to purchase it for 10 to 20 or $30 depending on which species you're getting. So it's a great program offered through Pierce Conservation District, and it's helping to bring trees to Tacoma, Puyallup, and unincorporated Pierce County. Now, I will say that since we're at the end of the sale period, there's a note on the website that says the trees available or designated for unincorporated Pierce County are all gone already. And that means that residents of Tacoma and Puyallup are currently eligible to receive these trees or to purchase these trees. So you have to be, at this point, a resident of Tacoma or Puyallup. So that's unfortunate, but keep an eye on the website for the urban tree sale, because sometimes people don't pick up trees and they have a second round of distribution available in case maybe someone purchased but didn't ever pick up their tree. So keep an eye on that and feel free to contact the program director of this program. You can see on the screen too that you can purchase up to 3 trees per address for this particular program. So that's a little bit about the urban tree sale. It's a great opportunity to purchase a tree rather than pick one up for free. So I think, well, I want to share about one last program, but I want to make sure and get these links out to all of you about the urban tree sale from Pierce Conservation District. So I've got a few links coming into the chat. You'll notice there's a separate website for the actual tree sale and how it's being administered, but great opportunity, as I said, to get some really beautiful trees for your property. The last program that we're going to highlight today is the tree coupon program. And I think this is a really interesting one. This one's also been going about 10 years. And the deal with the tree coupon program is that rather than dictating what types of trees are available, the city of Tacoma, Pierce County, Tacoma Public Utilities, they've all come together and they're saying, you can choose a tree from a participating nursery as long as it's a certain size. It's got to be in a 5-gallon pot or larger. And you can just simply go buy that tree from one of these approved retailers. And what we'll do is give you a discount on it. This is great because some of these larger trees can be $50 or $100 or even $200, depending on the species and the size. So this is a program that simply gives you a discount on the trees that you know you want to purchase. So if you kind of have a really specific taste, you know you want a very certain type of tree, you can just go to a nursery, call around to the participating nurseries even, and find out what they have available. And then you just go buy your tree once you got your coupon. So it's a different model. and they've been getting a lot of trees out into the community in the past several years. So that's the big advantage there, is that you have a lot more choice. You don't have to wait for a certain year when they're offering the certain type of pine or oak tree that you like. You can just go buy a tree that's available at a local nursery. So these trees are all for residential property, and they can be planted even either in the private property like your backyard, or in that planting strip in the public right of way. So the trees can go anywhere. You have a lot of choice, and maybe the drawback is that you are paying for the trees, because all the other programs we've been describing, except for the urban tree sale, are actually free trees, right? So this is a tree coupon program, and you can purchase up to 3 trees. So there's a maximum of $90 in value here. So it's not just a $30 coupon. It could be for $60 or $90 if you decide to buy 2 or 3 trees. So I can also speak from experience on this one. I took advantage of the tree coupon program a year ago and had a great experience. I loved going down to the nursery and picking out my tree. I got a Western hemlock, state tree of Washington, and was really excited to plant it at my place. So this is a great program. Again, the details on this one change, but it's kind of operated by the city of Tacoma and then extended out to residents of larger Pierce County through a couple different funding sources that they've identified. So I really like this program. I like that the public utility is supporting it and recognizing the energy savings that are involved in planting large trees on residential properties. So this is a program to keep an eye on, and we hope that it will expand in the future. So that is really the rundown of all the programs that we have currently in the greater Tacoma area. So there's quite a bit to sort of keep in mind and calculate here. And I guess maybe the first thing to think about is, in terms of which tree you might want, is where do you live? Let me go back here a little bit. So depending with whether you live in the city limits of Tacoma or you're a resident of unincorporated Pierce County, there are these different programs to take advantage of. The second one is, how much choice do you want to have? Are you someone who really cares about a tree, or do you just want the first tree that's available to you and you maybe choose from a couple of options? So those are things to think about. How much control, I guess, do you want to have over the exact species? Because it does make a difference when you're making a big choice or making a big investment in your property. What would you say some of the other factors are, Courtney, or how should people go about this decision when it comes to which program to get involved in?
I think practically speaking, looking at your yard, and like, of course, we all want to choose a wonderful, gorgeous tree with all season interest. But sometimes we have to be a little bit practical about trees if we want to incorporate them into our urban landscape. So I think if you have utilities overhead, or if you have really challenging soil in your right of way, I think maybe consider those aspects and then decide if there is an option for you that works to overcome those obstacles. Because the goal is to just get trees in the ground, essentially. So if you can just assess your own personal property and think, how can I put a plant in the ground? Is there space? Is there a good spot? Does it have nice sunlight? Can I water it easily? Am I gonna love where it grows? Those are all important things to think about, and especially for the longevity of a tree and having it contribute long-term to our urban forest. Those are some important aspects to think about, just so that we don't plant a tree that we're gonna eventually have to remove from the landscape. So I think that when we're thinking about trees is a very important long-term goal, about knowing it's a good spot. And if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to us. I love talking about trees. I love talking about where they should go. I'm happy to speak about it all day long. So that's something that if any advice is needed, feel free to call me. But I think that's an important aspect to think about, just looking at your property and considering what is the best fit, and then looking at our programs and figuring out how to get a plant for that best fit.
Yeah, that's great. So I think one of the things too is not just thinking about where you live and where your neighborhood is, but also thinking about people that you know that maybe live in a neighborhood that lacks tree coverage and letting them know about all these different tree programs. Have them reach out to us and we can help direct them to the right opportunity. I think that our tree shares at Tacoma Tree Foundation probably have the fewest obstacles. We don't we don't necessarily limit most of our tree giveaways to a certain geographic area. So if you want to just come on out to Green Tacoma Day, for example, on this Saturday in the Tacoma Mall neighborhood, that's a great time to just chat with us about what your options are. What are some of the considerations? You can take a plant home and go from there. But it's uh, it's fun to know what all these different options are. So on that note, before we get to the question and answer, just wanted to highlight these next two that we've already talked about, but here are the details, or some of the details at least, about Green Tacoma Day this coming Saturday, and then the Branch Out Tree Share, which is happening on Veterans Day weekend. So with that, I'll leave these things up here for people to ponder. Thanks everyone for supporting Tacoma Tree Foundation and for being interested in how to make our city a little bit greener. And thanks to you, Courtney, for your work that you're doing now.
Yeah, thanks everyone for being here. This has been fun to talk about trees.